Good morning and welcome to today's live show. We have to be very cautious this week because we could see some bad things happen. I mean, we're getting some macro signals here that look pretty damn awful on the SPY, on the Qs, on multiple stocks all at the same time. So it means today we really have to be watching this 30-minute. We really got to pay attention to this and see, since volatility has increased, implied volatility has increased, we need to pay attention to if we see a little trade setup early on in the day, right? Just because implied volatility is increasing doesn't mean everything has to shoot down. You actually can see us get some bounces in the market, so we'll pay attention to that as we go forward. Obviously, we do not have to bounce up, but if we did create the structure down here, it would lean us towards some kind of divergence being formed on the MACD and RSI at the same time. We're seeing us open up a little bit lower. TLT was something big. We were talking about how this is not dead yet, right? We were talking about how this isn't dead yet. We're waiting to see if that 2-hour can pop up, and this might be a strong base for TLT. And actually, I needed to zoom out further because you actually have like a ton of divergences down here at this point. I really think that this will solidify itself as a base, but we do get data throughout the week. We do get, I believe, what, FOMC, was I right on saying Fed interest rate decision? I believe that's coming out on Thursday. Tomorrow, ISM Services PMI, some crude oil stuff on Wednesday, but that will be interesting to see what that comes out at with the PMI. Thursday, you do have the Fed interest rate decision and the Fed press conference. That'll be interesting. November 8th, we do get the Michigan consumer sentiment and some inflation expectations. So we'll be on our toes for some data this week, play around with those rocks. One thing I wanted to mention as we open up today is not only could we form the signal on the SPY, but what if we see this form, I'm going to use an hourly, but if we see a little hourly divergence form for volatility at the same time, that will give us a more inclination that we are going to see some kind of 2-hour bounce from the SPY, some kind of maybe even 2-hour bounce for the Qs at the same time. What that would overall look like here is, see how this is pretty damn negative. Well, we could see this, right? We can build back. We can build back, but I think we're going to head to this zone and start to struggle because we have confirmed down on the weekly scale saying, hey, the momentum is sick here. And I know that everyone's on edge because of the election. So if we come down a little bit, form that reversal signal, and then see that come down one more time, we might have ourselves a big cup and handle. Now for the Qs, one thing that I wanted to talk about was I remember talking about cup and handle on this. Technically, the cup and handle was violated with that because it came down below that 50 point, the 50% line there. So if this wanted to drop down, we would just say this is consolidation, maybe another retest to actually head lower. That's more how we would look into this. But for the most part, you can see how the 30-minute can turn down here, and we might see a nice little setup for the Qs. Let's pay attention to that as we look at stocks today. One thing to mention why that might not happen is NVIDIA. NVIDIA actually heading to the upside here. Remember, we were talking about this possibly being a cup and handle. Looks kind of laggy in here. We'll see if that's able to do anything. In order for us to head in the upward direction, we have to turn up the 2-hour chart, and you're within range of doing it, so it is possible, but it is more likely to see a lower high in this area for the 2-hour. All right, let's go back over to the SPY. Just so you're aware, IWM already showing some divergence. Very interesting there. We'll see if this already has made some kind of handle to head down. DIA could go make a 30-minute divergence as well. We have weekly expected moves up on Patreon. We have monthly expected moves up on Patreon. And if we see a lot of stuff set up today, we will be putting out an update video where we on Patreon, we're going to put out that update video where we actually look at these weekly expected moves. We look at the daily expected moves for the SPY, and we see if there is any kind of trade setting up for us. As of right now, I think that trade is very obvious. We'll see if it sets up. How are we doing this morning? Good morning. How are you guys doing? Are you still waiting for a black swan? I'm not ever waiting for a black swan. Right, I'm still trading in between, right? We traded upside with NVIDIA, then we traded downside. We traded upside with NVIDIA in August, downside with NVIDIA in August, both showing good trades there. Then we traded upside with NVIDIA in September, actually, beginning of September, and then we had the trade to the downside that happened in the last day of October. So that was all fantastic, good stuff. Now we have to just see, are we going to build back here? We still can go higher, right? If I don't see reversal signals, up in this zone, then that just might be it, right? That might be it. It might say, hey, we're actually going to get rid of those signals, right? We still have that opportunity. We always want to be open to that. But I'm just saying the probabilities are more with you to see something like this set up right now. I think that would be how a bear market really wants to behave, and we are behaving like a bear market. Is waiting for a black swan a really good strategy? No, it is not. No, it is not. But trading the signals that you see in front of you is a good strategy. Trading your signals in front of you, trading like water, and then every once in a while you might see something bad happen that's a little bit worse, and you're going to make more money. That's all we say, right? We're just making people aware of those macro signals, because those macro signals usually lead into a little hint of, hey, you're about to experience something bad. Not even black swan, right? We won't even say black swan if that bugs you, but for the most, it's just when you see those weekly signals, bad things in history have happened. So unless it's different this time, which is, you know, that's a funny phrase because it seems to never be. But yeah, we're not trading based on a black swan. That would be silly. Try to get up and just kidding. Originally, it was kind of up here in the pre-market, just a little bit. Just interesting that that Nvidia is actually seeing some positivity. But notice this, remember, the market's able to hold up a little bit better because everything is pretty much red in here, right? Everything is red on the right side of your screen except for Nvidia. It's up huge. I don't see a pre-market move. Maybe you have a different one than I have here. I wasn't able to look at it too much over the weekend, mainly just trying to have a good last week. And I felt like this week was going to get a little crazy. Maybe some craziness could happen with the election. So I really just tried to enjoy my time. And that's the thing, you know, nobody really knows at this point. But I think it's all going to come to, do we experience something this week? And do the signals prove it, right? Do the signals prove it? Does volatility get this hourly to turn up, and we go make that divergence? Then we pull down, we go down towards 20, and then we see the 2 hour actually pulling down a little bit deeper. The 2 hours not able to confirm up, right? And this pulls down, then we curl back up into positive territory. I think that's what I'm looking for if we're going to experience something bad. If we're not going to experience something bad, then the 2 hour is going to keep dropping, right? It's going to keep dropping. Then that daily might cross down, and we might get below 20. Then we would be talking about, hey, maybe something is actually going to go up higher, right? Maybe the SPY is going to go make a new all-time high, right? We can still read into those things and just be aware that those big macro signals have confirmed as of last week. Nice bounce on TLT. Yes, I'm liking this for TLT. Really need that 2 hour to confirm up, but this is the beginning of some good things. Right, now you don't have the best, right? You have a divergence on the across the RSI on the 30-minute. You see triple divergence there. The only problem is you don't have it in the near price action. You don't have it on the MACD in the near price action. So it's only on one indicator, but it is a strong move out the gate. I do believe Thursday is when we're really going to see something here, but I can tell you this. As far as weekly ranges go, TLT has one of the biggest ranges I think I've ever seen for TLT. Usually TLT sits around that, 8% to 12% implied volatility. This week it's like 35% or something like that. So a little bit worried about that. IWM, I wondered if this would stay tight. And then Tesla still dropping down, going down into our zone. Not really making reversal signals, but it is going down towards our zone, not in our zone just yet. See what happens with that guy. Looks like Amazon is going to pull back. Remember what we say with opportunities after earnings are, if this 30-minute, this is very positive, if this 30-minute can turn up one more time, hey, you might have a good move. And on Patreon, you can get the weekly expected moves, which is fantastic. But yeah, TLT, this could be rotation a little bit, but we'll see if this holds over time. Right, we want to make sure this is confirming. That can turn up a daily scale. If you want to go look at, the 10-year just to see a little bit of this, you see big move up, big gap down, crossing down on the 2 hour. 4 hour going to be important here. Can that confirm down? Because that is still holding the divergences. Look at this. Look at this from TLT. TLT might be a fantastic trade right now. So you see that coming down like this. We see this pointing straight down like this. We are seeing the rejection to confirm that on both indicators. Okay, the daily scale can cross here. Look at the daily scale. It's been going up for quite some time. Now, that could just be a pullback, right? That could just be a pullback. But I do believe pulling back down to 4.15, something like that would be good. Nvidia's not holding, and neither is the market. Yeah, and we're still looking for us to go down to that downward expected move. If you watched last night's YouTube video, we were talking about the 30-minute crossing down. And the reason that I'm able to talk like this and really see is, one, because I'm not paying attention to, you know, should I buy this right now? I'm paying attention to where's the opportunity. That's the first question I'm always asking myself. Where is the actual opportunity for a good trade? This is the opportunity for a good trade. Now, that will be I would say, a risky trade because it's going to be an upside play, and you did have macro signals confirm last week. So that's going to be risky, but you do have this look on so many different stocks, on all the indices almost. I think IWM is a little wonky, but as far as it goes with the Dow Jones, with the SPY, with the keys, you have this look on all of them. So this is why we're paying attention to it, is just where is the opportunity? The opportunity would be if you go down to this daily expected move and then you get a bounce and then you're able to confirm that and you cross up a 2-hour. That's the opportunity. And then that would say, hey, we're going to go through a bigger bounce throughout election day, maybe. Election day, maybe we end up doing this. But we have to make sure that's actually proving. That's going to be key. Is it actually proving? As of right now, TLTC on that good move. We just need to see if that 2-hour turns up. And the dollar is still dropping pretty significantly there. So you have the dollar down. The PCC will come out in a little bit. We'll pay attention to that. And you have volatility turning up on the hourly. If that closes in about 32 minutes, you see that curling up. So now it's starting to add up to the opportunity might present itself. And we'll see. On TradingView, I think there's like, if you just have not real time, I think it's like a 5-second delay sometimes, but mine doesn't even really delay too much. You can buy, I think there's like opportunities to buy real-time data and things like that, but I'm going to be honest, I genuinely didn't even do that from when I started doing technicals, and I've never had to do it since, but some people could see it as valuable, so I get it. It might depend on the stock you're looking at too, because like volatility can update like sometimes volatility doesn't update until like every 15 seconds or so. So it might help with volatility. We'll see. We'll have to look into it, but for the most part, I haven't used it. I've been just fine. I'm very much so a guy that's like, if I can not spend the money, I'm not going to these days. You know what I mean? All right, let's leave it. Let's go look at the keys, see if those are crossing down. All right. It was VIX. Yeah, volatility can take 15 seconds to update. Like if you even watch if you're up at 2 a.m. and or whatever it is for your time and you watch volatility, sometimes it takes like 15 seconds for the bar to be produced. Sometimes 30 seconds. All right, now we got to see what that PCC is coming out at. Oh, one thing I was looking at was Palantir, actually. Palantir down here, I was looking at this to see if we would get some kind of divergence before the earnings, but just that, remember that. I wanted to point this out because I know a lot of people do like Palantir out there. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. You have 2-hour divergence up here, okay? You did have it, so that's saying that daily can rotate down. That daily did rotate down. So, you know, anything can happen with earnings. So we'll see if that sets up, but the 30-minute looked like something was there. There's a few other stocks. I might have to click through all of them to really see it. Apple doesn't really have it. It might try to make a tiny one right here, but that wouldn't be very good. Tesla is heading down into our buy zone. We'll see if we can catch a bounce from there, or are we going to confirm down some bigger charts? Amazon, this is pretty important for the 30-minute to pull back for an opportunity. Nvidia is one that I really thought could make that divergence, and this would be a good setup, I think. Even if it actually went lower, I actually would like it to go lower. I'd like it to get in this pocket here of about 130.65. I'd really like it to just come down, do this, and then turn back up. I think that would be very, very good. AMD, just looks like not good. Meta actually trying to set up a divergence here. Interesting look, right? Kind of getting that steep little thing here. You want to see if that's more of your ABC pattern, I think. But you can see how there's a tight divergence in there. Microsoft, another one that might have a tight divergence in there. I think a reaction down lower would be better, though, for Microsoft. Google's one that, hey, great on the earnings, and then it just gives it all up. Wasn't able to confirm back up. So you see how, aren't you glad you don't jump in? You're just waiting. You're like, where's the opportunity? Where's the good, less risky opportunity? It's not, hey, this is going to all-time highs. It's, ooh, okay, see if that can bounce off that 5 and curl back up. See if that hourly can turn up for something like Google. As far as it goes for Netflix, you do have this consolidation at this point, and it's been going on for a little while, so if that 2-hour confirms up, you could see some good things. AMC and GME, we're seeing things continue to curl down here, so that's important to note. And then gold actually showing a little double bottom here. We're seeing if that can produce some upside, right? This is the only one that really holding up pretty well, trying to get that. See this right here, see this right here. If gold can turn up and go positive, then that 2-hour actually could take you higher. And maybe you're going to make a triple divergence or something for gold, right? Because we're still positive. We have to think, hey, this could shoot up like this. This could also fail because this was a pretty steep drop. Good stuff. But I think the most important thing is just looking at the SPY, looking at the Qs, seeing if something sets up. I think that's going to be the most important thing. Good morning, Alex. Hi, Lizard. How you doing? Let me go over to here, make sure this chart's up. And volatility did just uncross. 27 minutes left in that, so we'll see. Dow crossed. Okay, Dow is crossing. 17 minutes left in that. Qs did not cross. Pretty sure IWM was crossed. See, IWM really showing the divergence already. So very interesting there. Very steep divergence too. The low point here makes it so that divergence is very wonky. But if we take this reading of the RSI right here, we can see the RSI going up slightly, well, actually up dramatically there. So if we get some positivity here, we might be able to curl up a 2-hour. 2-hour, what does that have? 2-hour actually has divergence. So why is IWM just going to take off? Well, maybe it's because TLT is finding a base and we're going to see yields come down. Small caps do like when those yields come down. All right. Oh, wait, let's go back to IWM. That looks pretty sturdy now. You have a 30-minute and a 2-hour. Let's see if that 2-hour can produce it, and then you can maybe even start to turn up a daily chart. Crazy. All right, nice wick up. 16 minutes left in the bar. All right. We go look at something over here. See if DIA sets something up, you know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't want to break that level again, though. Doesn't seem like it wants to on the Dow. All right, Tesla bouncing directly off of our buy zone there. No real structure in here, not the best structure to get into a trade early, but this might be a swing trade opportunity. See a breakout. How far up can Tesla go? Let me look at that. Ooh, is that right? I think I updated these. Yeah, that's right. Tesla actually, if it sets up the 2-hour signal here, Tesla might give a great downside opportunity as those weeklies have confirmed. If Tesla sees some real big positivity. Good stuff. Did everyone have the opportunity to go out and vote? Is the market open tomorrow? Yes, I believe it is. New all-time high for NVIDIA coming. Very possible if this 2 hour curls up, especially right now. Still possible. Little bit of probability that you make the lower high, right? We're a little bit far away, but you can see how that's definitely possible. It wouldn't take too much. And what I might do is pull up my other charts, because I have weekly expected moves on there. You can get those over on Patreon and see where is the weekly expected move. Well, it could take us maybe to that high up there. We'll see if what happens up towards these highs or up towards these gap fills. So they don't want the market to drop and go make that signal down there. That's for sure. That seems to be proving. Ooh. Oh my gosh, is Meta gonna see some good price action? Meta still has that opportunity to take out the high. Let me check on this with you guys. Weekly has not crossed for Meta yet. That's important, because Meta is showing some 2 hour little signals in here. If that can cross up, you actually have a good opportunity to see high prices for Meta. SPYs just went positive. We'll see if that 2 hour curls up for the swing. Swing, swing from the tables of my heart. Need to oil. Whoa! Oil just kind of ripped up. There might be a 4 hour in here. Yeah, you do have 4 hour divergence. You didn't have the best divergence on this bounce. You can see how the MACD had it. The RSI. Where the heck was that? Down right here. But now you have it between these 2 points on the 4. So that's what's making the daily here turn up. See if that daily turns up, then oil is back. Reddit. Yeah, we can go look at Reddit. Why not? Reddit, massive move. Massive move with the earnings. Great job with the earnings. 2 hour did just say, hey, I might pull back, maybe down to the 5, see if that collects itself. Very positive. So the opportunity here, right? Where's the opportunity is the good question. Let's see if that can turn down and maybe turn back up. Maybe turn down and turn back up into positive territory. That would be the opportunity, because jumping into something like this, the 30-minute, hey, if that can cross up, maybe that's a little opportunity. Make a weekly expected move for yourself. You can learn that by taking the course down in the description, the technical analysis course. It's 90% off. It's only $100 right now. Goes away at the end of November. But we can notice here that like it's kind of like jumping into this would be kind of sketchy at this point. Your MACD's way up there, your RSI's way up there. So if you're going to take anything here, you got to make it some kind of opportunity. That's a big thing. Good job making it, Mark. Way to go, vote. In order for the SPY to really come back and be bullish, and I think this is good to look at, but in order for the SPY to really be bullish, I actually think you need more time. Okay, so if we're gonna do something, make some kind of bullish signal, I think you mainly want to see something like this, right? We want to come up for a little bit on that 2 hour, maybe curl back down, and then see this, really elongate this. And then what that'll do is give you time, right? Take that momentum and just say, hey, we're fading that momentum downside, we're fading that, and then curl back up into positive territory. Because as of right now, what you really, really need to happen is the daily scale, right? We're gonna need the daily scale to flip back up. If that curls up, that's gonna be a good thing. So it's pretty much this. If we can form a stronger base down here, I'm down. I don't think we have that strong of a base. But if this daily would cross up, then you can take out this level, you can go higher. So the level that I think you really need to take out to like actually see more bullishness, and I think you need more time to do this, is going to be that level that day that we called, hey, this looks like a big downturn is coming. We consolidate, and then here we say the crash is tomorrow, and it crashed tomorrow. So that was just great. It's nice when it works out for you. You're still just following the signals. So for the most part, daily curls up. We get past 584.50. I'm pretty much thinking we're going to go up towards 600 at that point. A visionary, vision is scary. A start a revolution. The airways and never. I don't even think I said the right words there. Pollute the airways. A rebel? Who's that? Eminem? So we can just sit here, chill for the morning, right? Not freak out, not jump into anything too early. Let things play out, see what sets up for ourselves, and make a decision. Happy positive vibes from BK. BK out there, giving them positive vibes, you know what I'm saying? Pink Flamingo. I think this is interesting, and I think more YouTubers are starting to say, why do these weekly signals look so bad? I didn't look at any other YouTubers over the weekend, but after we put out ours on Saturday, I started to look on Sunday, and a lot of YouTubers make their stuff on Sunday. They take Saturday off. I just like to wake up and make a video in the morning on Saturday. I think it's fun. I think it's good to pay attention to the macro scale. But on Sunday night, I started to see more YouTubers talk about the macro scale. So that's where you got to be like, okay, more people are starting to become aware of that, and people that I believe actually do some good analysis. I trade like a toddler. Well, and if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, right? If you're saying, hey, volatility is going to scale up, well, then volatility most likely will, right? Volatility with these signals says, hey, volatility most likely will scale up sometime in the next month. Right? That's what this signal is saying. It's saying it's going to turn up dramatically. So it's not like anywhere up in here is a bad area necessarily. It's just, hey, we could go through a time where we experience a bounce, right? Bounces happen all the time. That's what people don't realize. Like a lot of the crashes that you can go through can be bear markets, and that's really when people are confused. And you'll hear, even back in 2022, right, going back way back, we have to go way back. I probably should have just zoomed out to a weekly chart, but when you go way back in here and we saw those weekly divergences, that's when I caught the bottom of this. But for this, you would say, when this came down this far, do you know what people were saying once we started to bounce up? Hey, this isn't even a stock. Stocks didn't even crash. That's what people were saying. Stocks didn't even crash, and you're like, well, it just took a while, but you were down 26. At one point probably 28%, and some stocks were down like 80%, and people are still like, no, that's not a crash. It's like, all right, so if you're not convinced that is, well then, and technically, I guess you would say technically it's not, well then we might go through that type of behavior again, in my opinion. I think we go through this because then you'll get to steal as much money away from people over time. That's just what I believe is going to happen. I'm down to be wrong, right? All I do is play signals that look good, and if it works out, it works out. If I need to manage a trade, I manage a trade. Do you ever look at politics affecting sectors and pay attention to things based on that? Well, you would say that the CHIP Act, right? The CHIPS Act, that is something that people know that Nancy Pelosi bought calls before because she knew that she was going to get it to pass, and boom, to the upside. So yes, politics does have a place for it. It's all these signals are happening around the election. So I am assuming that something with the election is going to happen. But what will that be? Will it be just Donald Trump wins? Is that enough? Or will it just be, I hear a lot of states or counties saying that they're going to extend the vote for a long period of time, up to 12 days. Is that going to cause people to get like fearful in some way? It's just, there's a lot that can happen with politics, and it's harder to read into. You more want to look at, okay, what did Nancy Pelosi do? She bought calls on NVIDIA right before the CHIPS Act passed. So things like that are more likely. Bills and things like that, I think, are more likely to affect stocks. Now, one thing though, Maurice, one thing very, very cool is European markets right now are down from their all-time high, I think like 7%. And they're down 7%. Well, we're still touching new all-time highs for a while. So there is a difference between our market and theirs. And that is people believing that investors are preparing for if Trump wins and for tariffs to come in. So you are seeing that. And I think tariffs can really affect other markets. Yeah, it does make that just makes sense. So you can read into it like that. And a lot of economists believe that tariffs are going to be bad for the market here, but it would just say, you know, stocks that are more likely doing business overseas, say like Apple and things like that, those might suffer. So y'all voting later or not? I already voted, Trevor, and so did Mark. So hopefully everyone else is getting out there and voting. It is a great right of ours. Even if you think your vote doesn't count, I encourage you to look at it positively and go try to make a decision there. Not voting. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but you do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? We're never gonna hate on anyone for not voting. We're just like, hey, you know, say your piece. Yeah, but it counts for yourself. If you think it doesn't count, one, if enough people think that, then it starts to count, right? So if there's thousands of people like yourself that all decide to do something, then it starts to count. So I actually believe it does count in some way, because if too many people don't, well, then it starts to count. But I understand. GME. Okay, so we'll go look at GME. GME, we'll see if that, I think the hourly needs to turn up now to see positivity. That's what I believe. AMC, you could say hourly as well. The 30-minute looks a little wonky here, but you are holding the 5 a little bit better. So the hourlies for these are going to be big things, right? Now, as we dig into it, 2 hours have crossed down. So those turning up would be good. 2 hours have crossed down. Those would, you know, be good, but we're looking at hourlies. When you get a little bit worried about this going down for maybe a retest lower or even deeper, down for a retest lower, or maybe go in to make a daily divergence for AMC, well, then that daily scale turns down. It's a little bit worrisome. Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome with that. You can buy Harris or Trump on Robinhood. That's crazy. Robinhood's doing a lot of stuff. They got their new little platform, Legends. I need to look at that. That'd be funny. Oh, it's like betting? Interesting. Interesting. SMCI got pretty much, you know, tortured a week ago. And now we're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. That's just all I want to read into there. If we're going to get back to beating these levels, you got to curl up the daily. Yeah, Sid, I might have to do that. I might have to mark that on my calendar. You know, it looks like NVIDIA's not going to allow us to turn down. That's what it seems like. Everything else is bad except for NVIDIA, it seems. Home Builder is actually doing a good move, and the PCC is still relatively high, 1.068, so that is high. Dollars down. We can see a rigged move to the upside pretty much at any moment. I'd still like to see basing out structure. But yeah, you're having the dollar lower while the PCC is higher. If that's going to indicate anything, at least as far as rigged behavior, I know that we're kind of correlated at this point. So if we can read into that in any way, it would mean, hey, there might be some insider buying happening. Some kind of move to the upside can happen from these levels. We just got to see, is that going to be the lower high, right? Or the higher low, sorry, god dang it. The higher low, and are we just going to confirm up a 2-hour? You know? So I think what we want to watch here is, does the 30-minute turn down for volatility? If 30-minute turns down, you might have yourself a higher low for both the SPY and the Q. So we weren't able to go down to the daily expected move just yet, right? We're still in the first 30 minutes. Which means volatility most likely did not confirm up on this hourly. See how that rejected? And now we start to watch the flip side. See if that turns around. Yeah, but I think voting, a lot of it is like a personal thing. At least for me, I try to think of it more of like a personal thing, because I think where I'm at, my vote doesn't really matter too much, but it matters to me. It matters to me, you know what I mean? It matters to me for me to go put my say in what I think is best for my family going forward. That's how I look at it. Even though I'm in an area where, you know, it might not make the most waves or anything like that, but hey, I'm gonna say my piece. Okay, this is where I want to see IWM. Oh wait, that's Apple. What the hell am I doing? IWM. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so IWM saying pretty good floor here if it can curl up that 2-hour. No, actually, AMC this week, Dr. Z and Short Fridays. I know you guys are talking back and forth, and I'm just tuning in for a sec. Just so you're aware, AMC, I think it was up until last week, had below 100, right? Below 100% implied volatility, okay? And GameStop has had 50%, 70%, which is something different. And we had that for like a whole month. And now implied volatility is up. So I think it is important we talk about AMC for a second, because I know people are looking into this. With earnings coming up, first of all, 50-50 flip. Second of all, the times where we saw these weekly expected moves really expand for AMC and GME, it lets the market maker know, hey, there's a bunch of liquidity in this. Hey, there's a chance for this thing to skyrocket this week because of the implied volatility in it. So we need to clamp down on the stock. It gives them a hint, right? Because they have that data. So they are prepared most likely for earnings. And then what you're hoping as an investor in this, if you want this to go up as an investment, then you would say, I'm hoping for a good earnings that takes over, can really burst through that short selling power. That's what you're wanting here. Got to get through 521 in order to see a good move. For GameStop, you got to get through 2446. Look for that, lies right at that high. Gold, I really want to see if this turns into a decent trade. It looks pretty good right now. It does look pretty good. But I want to see if that 2-hour can turn up, right? I'm not really eager to take upside plays. The only one I was eager to take an upside play on was something like TLT. So I'm waiting to see if this 2-hour can really cross up. That would be a good sign. You have a big move for this priced in. All right, let's go back into the 30-minute and just chill here for a little bit. PCC still high, dollar still going lower. Pretty sure you can trade TLT on almost any brokerage. Yields also pulling back, and that's why the TLT trade we have to pay attention to, because yields look like they're pulling back. Yields are giving all the 4-hour signals in here, triple divergence, actually quadruple if you include the previous one, right? Look how downward that is. Just straight down, just straight down. So these yields might correct dramatically down. Notice I'm saying correct, and the reason I'm saying correct is because this daily is so up into positive territory that it's not even funny. So the fact that this is so far up into positive territory, I have to be aware that that could pull back maybe down towards our 4.062, but maybe just down towards 4.15. Yeah, from what I calculated, I can even look at it. AMC had like 133% priced in for the week, right? So 133%, not move, 133% implied volatility. And then GameStop, weirdly enough, GameStop only had 78%. Last week we only had 55%, and we saw something crazy. So that's why I want to pay attention more to the times where something unexpected it could happen. Would more likely be when the options market isn't thinking that could happen. So what you could see is actually AMC turned down dramatically with earnings. No one expects it to pop the next week, and then that thing actually pops. We'll see. We got to see if it has good signals, but you always got a chance. But you see how the daily here for these yields really can pull down. You look at TLT, and that's kind of opposite, right? With great reversal signal. And you're confirming up on the daily before you even confirm a 2-hour? My goodness. So now you're going to have daily momentum with you as this is confirming. That's a pretty good sign there. Okay, I want to keep the volatility up here. Want to check on that real quick on my other screen. 30-minute has not confirmed down yet, and then we want to leave this on the SPY and watch that 2-hour, but maybe even watch the hourly. See that hourly getting a little pop there? 15-minute probably drops, see if that can confirm back up. Maybe we'll watch this for a little bit. That 15-minute confirms up, and don't think, hey, we have to stop at this level, right? This can be a positive move. It can be a very positive move. So we'll see what happens, but for the most part, we need to say this could be a resistance we run into, but you notice that we're really piling up, not violating the lowest point. So we're really piling up here, pretty damn controlled. If that turns up, we can see positivity and maybe even break through and see some kind of little measured move here. We can go fill that gap. Volatility is starting to turn down a little bit dramatically there, like a 2.79% turn down in 30 minutes. And TLT still liking some good stuff. Not even overbought on the 30-minute yet. SPY reject. Q is trying to reject. I think the next hour should tell us a lot. And the DIA is one that I'm more watching because this thing did say downside is there. So if the Dow's telling us anything, it's saying, hey, I still have a chance to go make that divergence. I still have a chance to go make that. That's what the Dow's saying. But if that whips back around, where is it? Right by positive territory. You see it's right by that center line. Yeah. Alrighty, let's put this over on volatility on the other screen still. Hasn't confirmed down on volatility yet. See how the Dow's telling you, hey, downside most likely thing. SPY still has a chance to go make the divergence. You might have kind of, no, this wick allows you not to make it. So we'll actually still watch the 30-minute here. Just a little turn down, just a little turn down would go a long way. How's DJT? Let's go look at that. It seems a little trappy. You do have trap behavior right now. DJT, a bunch of little 30-minute divergences, but not the best divergences, right? Very tight still. Very tight in this. Because you're not getting some kind of bigger flag to really say, like, yeah, we're basing out. But you do have them. They're just pretty deep into negative territory, so you can keep seeing it roll over. What I'd more so look towards is a 2-hour crossing up. If that could happen today, maybe tomorrow, that could be a good sign. But if you start rolling over the daily, that's bad. So now you're in a daily pullback mode, and the daily might really be pulling back here, right? We could see the daily pull all the way down. I'd say something like 22.36. Looks pretty good. Had some resistances in there, right in there. Maybe we go all the way down to our buy zone, but for the most part, it's like, hey, we could hold up here. So daily's turning down. You want to watch for if that daily can turn back up, and you don't really have those signals just yet. And you don't have the best divergences. Foot Locker. Ooh, gonna have to look at the 2 hour to see. Slight divergence there. Slight divergence there. Daily. Daily just rejected it. So actually from this day forward, it kind of said, hey, I do have a 2 hour divergence. You saw that confirmed on Friday in the morning, and then that's continuing to the upside. Now you got to break through these levels, so you might see a period of consolidation here. Baba, Alibaba, 2 hour looks like it could turn up into positive territory here. You did have a 2 hour divergence at this low. I just want to see, are we kind of having a wonky day? Okay, so the daily can turn up. If that 2 hour turns up, I think you got a better shot of turning up into positive territory for the daily scale. Very strong move. So if that daily crosses up again, pretty much a simple swing trade. But if you go and take both of the courses, right, just $150 to take both courses right now, all the way up into the end of November. So not too much time left, but you got a little time. So stick around, and you know, if you're new here, pay attention to what we're doing. Try to take as much as you can. And if you like the style, hey, go grab that course. So the 2 hour, if that can really confirm up, I'd really like to see a strong positive bar. I don't want to really see that fading, but we do have an hour and 15 minutes left. You see that is confirming. That can mean, hey, this is solidifying itself as a pretty strong higher low, especially if that can go positive. So this kind of tells you that you do have a pretty good probability of a swing trade to the upside. You know, if this can go positive, that's going to be key. So if it just turns down on a 30-minute, you have more downside. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jason, I hope that was helpful. It doesn't look like the worst trade setup in the world. EIA still pointing down. So this is the one. This is the one giving us a hint of like, our stock's going to follow the Dow. Dow crossing down. You see that on DJI. Dow crossing down. Can't see some kind of pop there. Yeah. I'm gonna look at one more, and then we're just gonna watch this the SPY for just a little bit, maybe go peek over at volatility. As far as Oxy goes, you have triple divergence on the RSI. I can see that pretty clearly. MACD a little bit flat, just barely up. So you do have it there. That's telling you that a strong move can come. That's telling you a 2 hour can confirm up. A 2 hour is confirming up. You have divergence on the 2 hour as well. So this tells you that actually Oxy could be turning up on the daily scale before you know it. What's up with the daily scale? You have a triple divergence. Anyone who's taken the course might want to go check on Oxy for the golden setup, okay? It hasn't confirmed yet, but you might want to go refresh yourself on the course for the golden setup. The golden setup plays out a shit ton of the time. You see a strong floor, and it's usually a good move for about a month. Okay, so if this daily crosses up, you might have a golden setup down there. It doesn't mean it has to play out every time. Nothing's 100% in the market, but this is one of the best setups in, at least in my trading strategies. This is the best setup in my trading strategy right now in front of you. If you want to learn what that is, we just went through it, but so you can piece it together. But if you need to learn exactly what it is, you can take the course down in the description. It is something that we look for extensively for bottoms in bear markets. And this is what's showing here. Pretty much saying this could be a very, very, very strong bottom for Oxy. SPY, are you gonna do it? What you thinking? Qs are still negative. Be impatient, right? Be impatient. I want SPY and the Qs to bleed. Well, then you want this like the little 30-minute to turn down, and then you just have to be aware if that's going to screw you over, then you might make a divergence down here, okay? So that's what we're really watching. And then if that doesn't happen and the 2-hour curls up, ooh, that's gonna be a little scary there. That's probably a good move, Navi. We are not going to check LRHC because that seems like bots. I apologize. I will check it off camera. Dramatic downside. But that's a penny stock. It's compiled up on the Bollinger Bands. 2-hour curls up into positive territory. Good things can happen. I just don't like that those YOLO type stuff, those really, really cheap stuff. I want stuff that has good amounts of volume in it at all times. That way I can see momentum very clearly. Because momentum can be very wonky on a small stock because of the volume, right? One curl up could be like, oh, we can go test high, go make a new one. Well, if there's no volume coming into that stock, then it can easily start to go the other direction. Looks like the Q is trying to go positive here. What's turning around for us? Netflix, AMD, NVIDIA, all three of those. Alrighty. Volatility, looking at that on the 30-minute, starting to cross. Just so you're aware, volatility is crossing. Has 22 minutes left in the bar, but it is trying to cross down right now, suggesting that the SPY could see higher prices. Which we do have the PCC still remaining high, and we have the dollar dropping down, so there could be a rigged move up by the end of the day. Are we going to see buying come in, buying come in, buying come in, and then they announce who won, or something happens right after the election or on election night? That really affects these markets. That's what the timing is kind of leaning towards. Oh yeah, let's do this too, because AMD went down. No, that was October 31st. So monthly expected moves not coming in to consideration just yet, by the way. If we see some big moves, at the beginning of the month, that's where we'll pay attention to those monthly expected moves, okay? If we see something, especially in the beginning, I know it worked out for NVIDIA at the end of the month. That's fantastic. So congratulations, and give yourself a big pat on the back, and thank you for being subscribed. But we can notice that the good trades come at the beginning of the month, right? Come at the beginning of the month a lot of the time. So we'll see if we can hit a monthly expected move early on in the month. I'd say in the first, I'd like the first 12 days maybe. Volatility turning down just a little bit more. And SPY, we'll see if that can get some positivity. What did IWM do? Who's been keeping track of that for me? Whoa! 30-minute crosses up, got divergence down there, 2-hour divergence there as well. We'll see if that 2-hour can turn up. That does suggest, if that 2-hour turns up, that the daily has the opportunity to turn up into positive territory, maybe even take out this high. Will it be a trap? Because you got a lot of divergence down here. Very wonky, but you do have some. Oh, sorry, I meant to go to the SPY. And I'm going to go click over to the Dow on my other screen. As volatility is crossing, we'll check back in on that in a bit. Dow is still saying downside. What are you guys chatting about? Oh yeah, Peloton, we did look at that last week. So let's go check on Peloton. Peloton, it's your pal. Peloton, 30-minute crossing up would be a good sign. Okay, you have some of those indications that that's happening already. The MACD is the one that lags behind a little bit. That's, you know, I don't like to swing trade on the 30-minute too often, but that does suggest that we can hit this high. We can go make a new one, more so when that MACD does cross up. Very, very simple. Let's keep it very, very simple. If the 2-hour curls down, hey, we still could be in 2-hour pullback mode. So this could mean maybe we do see some kind of 30-minute, maybe this comes down a little deeper. We see a 30-minute pop, 30-minute drop, then we actually see a reversal signal. You might need a reversal signal now because the 2-hour was able to cross. But never know. That's why you got to know how to manage risk, manage your trades. Meta, for the time being, I want you to be aware you're getting a rejection divergence here. Okay, Reese? You're getting a rejection divergence here. If you want to make it look good, then you just look at a 15. If that 15-minute crosses up, you can start to cross up some bigger time frames like this hourly. Now, this would still lean towards a lower high, right? But for the time being, the market's going to experience some kind of bounce. If these confirm, that would be highly probable. So I want to be safe with my money. I want to manage risk. So you are seeing the rejection divergence on the 30. 30 is like crossing over, but with a green bar. GME, you just need these things to flip back up to positive. You need to get through 24.46. AMC, you need to get these things back to positive. So good thing for AMC right now, but you have to get through 521. Big move to get through to see something crazy. Just keep paying attention to the SPY though. Oh, it was Dr. Z that said that? Oh, my bad, Reese. Oh yeah, Reese talked about Peloton. Yeah, Dr. Z, it looked like there's a little rejection divergence in there that could be forming. So I just want to be careful with it. It still could go make a bigger handle, might need a liquidity grab before. And that's a big thing, right? If we're going to experience something bad, we might need to do a liquidity grab before that happens. Oh my goodness, keg. Something I used to chug in college. Whoa, that's really bad. Okay. I mean, that's just an earnings thing. Not much to do with this on earnings. You can get a reaction maybe, but you could just move sideways until that 5 catches up. Second half of the day could be volatile. Yes, because you have bigger implied volatility. You don't necessarily have major implied volatility today. My interest is, I would be intrigued if we could do it. I wish we could, to already know what the implied volatility for tomorrow is. Because if the implied volatility for tomorrow is massive, then you're going to see some rip around kind of moves, right? So we got to see if this 2 hours confirming up and we have a big implied volatility, then we can just rock it up in the morning. And then maybe by the afternoon, we actually test those resistances of daily expected moves. So for today, the reason I wanted us to turn down on a 30-minute was because we are going to eat up some time. And then by the end of the day, you can maybe end towards these areas, right? And then you confirm up, you see a big move, and then that could be a rigged move to the downside. So just something I'm looking into. My brother had a Trump sign for a total of 24 hours maybe. He put a Trump sign outside, and I think it was within like 12 hours it was gone. So I just thought that was funny. Thought I'd share that with you guys. 2 hour here is what you need to cross up for TLT. You got to cross up on this 2 hour. That's going to be a big deal. That is being suggested to very likely happen from your indicators. You have tons of divergence down here on the 2 hour, tons of divergence down on the RSI at the same time. And you have the opposite side, aka I like to look at the 10-year yield for this. You have a ton of divergences for the 10-year yield, which is suggesting that TLT is going to see some kind of base here. right? It's suggesting that the 10-year is about to curl down on the daily chart. Now, does that have to happen? Obviously, no, right? Never has to happen. That's why we manage risk. But yeah, TLT, you'll probably even see something on the 4-hour at this point. Rejection divergence happening now. So to clear it up, the 2-hour crosses up. Good things can happen. We can start to see this thing bounce on the daily scale, curl up daily charts. And you're seeing exact same timing on the 10-year yield. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have, damn it, you guys, this is why I hate this stuff. All right. Sorry guys, I have to do some managing here. Give me 2 more seconds. Yep, already done and done, Reese. Done and done. Just I have to do it all myself. I'm all by myself. All right. Got it done. Is that true, Reese? I'm on the right track because bots are starting to come to the page. Well, that's all because of you guys. Thank you guys so much for liking today. If you haven't, liked the channel today, liked a video today, give me a like this morning if you feel like it, if you're happy about what you're hearing on this channel. Or if you're unhappy with it. Oh God, that's not good. We gotta change that. On Yang. Oh, why did I think that was Fang? FTSE, so China Bear. These ones are going to be wonky because they're 3x leveraged. So you'd more so just want to be looking at the, I mean, does this track FTSE? No. You want to find out, I'm not someone who trades Chinese stocks or anything like that, but this is just saying, hey, there's no real signals here, and it's hard to find signals on 3x leverage stuff. That's why everything that I talk about that's 3 times leveraged, I'm always looking at a different thing to do the analysis. We are at a PCC now of 1.26, and the dollar's still remaining low. And volatility is starting to curl down on the 30 minutes. So you want people to get hurt over the next couple of days? Well, then you shoot the market higher. That's what it seems like to me. Well, it's gonna 3x leverage ones. They usually have splits, like what, once a year. Yeah, Hussein, I've heard people in different parts of the country, right? I think it's like, West Coast. They have to wake up at like 4:30 a.m. Thankfully, lately I've been a very early bird, but the market doesn't open for me until 8:30. It's like perfect, 8:30 a.m. Oh, that's so nice. And then also add on top of that, you lost an hour because, you fall back, right? Daylight savings time for us. So technically, the market technically opened at what, 7:30 this morning? Woke up at 5. Good job, Junior. Hopefully you got yourself a good cup of coffee and you started to look at some good signals out there and really tried to pay attention to this. I really hope that the opportunity pops up. It's just a lot of puts. I wonder if a lot of people are calling puts and they'll just leak this thing higher for the week. I'm gonna go look at Max Payne for the week. I'm wondering, do people think that we're going to experience some bad things? Signals are suggesting it. They really were betting on bad things today. And that's not happening. So if you can take Yeah, if you can end up outside of this and close out there, ooh, the next day you could probably see some bullishness. Let's look at the end of the week. Looks like your big wall is going to be at 580. Where does 580 land? Your big wall. Look at this wall on both sides, right? Call and puts are right here at 580. So at 580, what can we read into? The fact that 580 is in a sell zone, the fact that 580 is pretty much exactly where that gap fill is, the fact that 580 tomorrow, if we see some price action here and we get a daily expected move, maybe that daily expected move is right in this area. That's something we will pay attention to. Something that would be nice is if the 30-minute just went like this, came back down, went like this tomorrow. Yeah, that would take too much time, damn it. So you're probably not going to see the best reversal signals. It might just be 2-hour pops, 2 hours swings down, 2-hour pop, 2-hour pop like this, 2-hour swing down, because you are seeing the rig behavior. I think that's possible, but am I going to trade that? Hell no. I got to see a signal first. Dow Jones still just leaking to the downside. GME, once again, it's still just an hourly. See if hourly can turn up. Same thing for AMC, right? Hourly chart, very simple. You need those to go positive. If the daily starts to rotate down for these, it's not going to be a good sign. That's a bad sign. You want those to turn back up if that happens. 30 minutes starting to see some green, but notice it's a little bit negative. That's why I like the hourly confirmation a little bit better. Gold, this was one that looked like a possible opportunity. That's kind of why I'm watching it a little bit on my other screen. But it's really, really high up. It has reversal signals too. So I'm just like, I'm not itching to take an upside play. I'm more so itching to watch an upside play and see if there's weakness to get a great short position. And I almost bit my tongue right there. Ow. All right, 2 hour, 1 hour left in this bar. See if that can produce some upside. Volatility of volatility saying I might curl down on a 2 hour. It is showing, hey, pretty similar to what's going on with volatility. Volatility is turning down. It is turning down, suggesting that this 2 hour is going to pull back further. Yeah, Anand, sorry it is quick. We went over it. If you want to look back, Anand, we did go over GME a few times. We can't pinpoint exactly when, but if you kind of scale back, you could probably find the same chart where we looked a little bit deeper into it, but we try to keep it simple, man. You know, you don't want to read into things too much. The main thing about those that you need to understand is AMC does have a big implied volatility, 140%. And the other part to that is that means that the market maker and the short sellers are aware that a big move can happen this week. And usually on those weeks, remember the few times we've had earnings, we've had massive moves priced in for AMC and GME. And then they just do nothing or go down after. So doesn't mean the opportunity is not there. Sorry, AMC was on my mind, but it doesn't mean the opportunity is not there. It's just you want to see good signals for that. 2 hour curling down now might be more of a pullback. 30-minute can curl up, then we can get rid of those signals. But great move from Carvana. Well, oh yeah, okay, earnings again. And earnings causing this to go up. And what is it doing? Well, it's got to test that 5. So now you see if that 30-minute can pop up. Hey, we could maybe test that high, go make a new one. Learn how to make weekly ranges, guys. Take that course down in the description using technical indicators, technical analysis course down there, because it will really help you out with little trades like this and being like, oh, okay, that's on another upward move. The weekly move's at 280. We did that on, Wednesday morning. Okay, so that means we can drop down. Did that create divergence? Oh, is that a short now? You can get a lot of opportunities if you really get a hang for swing trading and the technical trading, the divergence trading, the weekly ranges trading. How to use those weekly ranges is very, very useful. Yeah, and we have more PCC just going insane. PCC just going in freaking insane. And the Dow is saying that we should be heading down here. The SPY still trying. Still trying. Did we confirm? Okay, we're trying to now. Something to watch might be this 15-minute. If this rejects here, We can head lower actually, so let's watch that for a second. I believe Amazon's still pulling back. I would look for the 30-minute pullback more so than a 15 though. I just want to watch this for a little bit, guys, because this is the most important thing, right? We got to see if this market's really topping out, because SPY did confirm weekly signals. Yeah, volatility is suggesting, hey, stocks are supposed, the SPY's going to go higher. That's what volatility is suggesting. But then at the same time, the Dow is saying, hey, we could drop lower. So it's kind of like volatility and the rigged behavior are there for an upside move. We're just not seeing positivity come in yet. This could all be buying time to react down to the up towards that 5-day moving average before we get rejected. So there's a lot that can happen, but we'll just keep an eye on it. Tesla able to bounce up from our zone. Perfect little touch into our zone. Now we got to see if that 2-hour can turn back around. Amazon still just seeing if that 30-minute can pull back. I'd like it to pull all the way down to the 5. IWM though, seeing great positivity. Right, 2-hour able to pop up here. So you're seeing real strength from IWM here. And if that confirms, that is saying 2-hour divergence. That's saying IWM could be positive for some time. Maybe it's rotation into small caps and TLT. TLT still trying to confirm. We're going to have to wait till end of day or middle of the day to really see if this can confirm. But most important is going to be just this simple little thing here can go a long way. But we have to see positivity come in as this happens. Right, that's a negative bar. We need to see positivity for this to really show some strength. We need this to really show us a good move to be convinced that this can go higher. And we might actually get that 2-hour to turn up. All right, let's go look at some stuff. Dow's kind of, I think Dow might try to carve out the higher low. I believe I just had to ban like 10 accounts. All right. Now Q's. Ooh, yeah, it's looking pretty decent. Q's really wanting to do it at the same time. Don't want to see that. You do not want this 30-minute to curl down now. Or maybe you do, right? You can go make that divergence now. This could leak into a few days after the election if NVIDIA pulls down now, right? If we see this divergence pop up at any time this week, that's when I want to be paying close attention. See how long this takes. See if that SPY can really confirm down. Starting to not confirm up on the 15. 5 minutes left in this little bar here. Interesting. Okay. What's volatility saying? Volatility was saying still down. 21 seconds left in the bar for volatility. Gap down a little bit. Okay. Alright, so volatility did officially confirm down. Not negative yet, still in positive territory, so we got to be aware of that. But it really could just be like an ABC move down. Let me measure that out. That would get you to the 5. I'll look for a reaction off the 5 if that comes down any further. Wanted to see if the down, nope, down, not trying to base out anymore. Netflix went sideways into the 5-day moving average. Watch that. If that thing curls up on a 2-hour, you can see a positive move there, which Netflix does not look good on the macro scale. Nvidia is trying to confirm up on a 2-hour. That would suggest a little bit higher prices there. Right. SPY not liking it right now. I love that they report before the open. Because they're like, stock price is suggesting that higher levels, and it's like it literally went down right away in the morning. Apple, I'm just interested if this catches a random bounce. Like the girls are back. Let me go use the restroom real quick, guys, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. What happened? Okay, so the Q's at least trying to do it. The SPY now trying to kick in and do it. Remember, that bar was negative. We don't like that. We want to see a positive bar. And we want to retake that 5, but for the most part, we can see this might be trying to make the next move higher. Trying. Ooh, volatility. Did that just drop pretty sharply? A little bit. As you can see, volatility turned down on the 30-minute. And we still have to see if it gets a react. It's still positive. We can still react in volatility here. That's why we want to see some good positivity from a little 15-minute for the SPY. We're not getting that. So don't be fooled. These cross-ups are on negative bars. That monthly move. We'll just keep that one up. All right, so starting to flush here a little bit. Now it's weird, but we're getting just a retest here. Is this going to mean bad things for the SPY? Well, it just means, are we going to turn down on a 30-minute? Right? Are we going to turn down on a 30-minute, react maybe down towards 566 still? Right? This was not able to hold up too well just yet. So we're kind of stuck between, is the 30-minute going to turn down, or is the 15-minute going to tell us that positivity is coming for a higher low? It's kind of what you're stuck in between right now. All right, let's see what you guys are chatting about. 1.3, well, it depends. It means market maker does not want the market to go down here, especially below 570 today. Especially below 570 today. I'm going to pull it up again, but I'm pretty sure the max pain was around, or the, oops, that's not the right link. Let me just look at it before I say anything about it. That's the easier thing to do. Yeah, 570 is a big put wall. So notice that with 570, when we got below it, where's that wick? It's right at 570. So if they really want to screw a ton of people over, they do that. And then you end the day like right here. So if you end the day at that upward expected move, then you would hurt the most amount of people pretty much. Like 575. You land there, ooh, that would hurt a lot of people's options. Both sides would not like that. For the most part. Obviously, there will be some people who win in there. I actually think we still have the opportunity to go. I think we might see fireworks after the election. So if we downturn tomorrow, I'll still look at the structure of it, see if there's anything, right? But I think it's more after election day that the timing lines up with. Market seems slow today. Yeah, it does seem a little slow, doesn't it? We have moved barely. A negative bar cross was like trusting a Taco Bell fire. It's just not a good idea, right? But if we start to see positivity, then we can read into it, right? We start to see a strong positive bar that confirms like this. We look pretty good. We say, okay, but the 5's right above us. You can reject from that, so watch out. But if we can take back that 5, and remember, by the end of the day, the place to land or hurt the most people is like right here. So am I excited to take some kind of big upward move? No, I'm not. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be paying attention to the upward move. And let TLT do its thing while I'm at it. Bill, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone has a good amount of energy going into this week. I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a fun one. It'll definitely be a fun one to make YouTube videos around. I can tell you that. Well, actually, we should see what the signals look like first, but it is, I think it'll be entertaining. It's just nice because I think we will see that bear market behavior start to hit the market a little bit more. We've already seen glimpses of it. It's kind of why I wanted this to go down, right? But volatility now at 0.73. I want to see a strong bar here. Yeah, it does make sense, and a lot of puts in, right? We have a 1.3. 1.3, that is crazy. You're about to hit the crazy level of 1.4. 1.4 is a level that you hit when you almost are touching to form crash bottoms. We actually hit that back in September, which was crazy to me. I remember that was so weird. But it was suggesting like, hey, this might be bottoming, according to the PCC when you hit this blue line. But what I want to be watching is just, you know, hey, people are really towards the put side. The dollar is dramatically down, and technically the correlation with the market was positive, so it's interesting. But this could say there's rigged behavior going on, and the SPY is about to see a little bit of a base here for a few days. We'll see. It just suggests that a rigged move could take place, but that rigged move could just be doesn't move at all, right? If we just don't move at all, then a lot of people still lose money. Lucid? Lucid with a little 15-minute, I wonder if it's on the 30-minute rejection, little 15-minute divergence. So little bounce can come. 2-hour divergence now there confirming. Still below the 5, risky, right? Way below the 200. But this is suggesting that the 2-hour could take this up, maybe curl up the daily. I don't know if that's, there you go. So it says, hey, the daily could curl up here. Earnings is around the corner, right? So if earnings is around the corner, we have to say it's a 50-50 flip. So not a ton to do in there, just a little 2-hour divergence. Maybe you catch a bounce. If earnings is good, that bounce might go a little bit higher. Volatility now down to 0.55. Just so you're aware, coming down. So the SPY, we'll have to see if that sees a strong move here. Oh yeah, and it gave you the signals for it on IWM. You got the signal for it here, 30-minute, right? Not the best on the MACD, right? Because it calculated it on this bar. That was the lowest point. But on the RSI, you see it pretty clean. And then the 2-hour actually has divergence here as well. So if that 2-hour pops up, it's suggesting IWM could be good for a little bit of time. Gotta manage risk. We're always going to say that. Gotta manage risk. One thing I wanted to pop over and check with you guys was the Dow. Look at that thing. Trying to curl up into positive territory. Are we trying to get to a higher low? What it seems like. But I really just want to be watching the SPY. Volatility already turned down, suggesting that the SPY can bounce now. We do have the rigged behavior. So this is starting to more lean towards upside for right now. Like all the signals right now are leaning towards upside, especially if we can get a green bar, a solid little positive bar for the SPY. Gotta manage risk though in this environment. Implied volatility is higher. Gotta be willing to be wrong at all times in this environment. But yeah, John T. All right, did Tesla did bounce off of our zone. Very, very nice. Still got to see if this 2-hour can curl up. You know, if you really want to, an hourly might work. It's close enough to the center line. But you could just reject off of that 5. So you're still below a lot of moving averages. That's why I'd really like to trust the momentum by seeing that 2 get way up here. towards maybe even 255 is enough to cross that up. And then you see some positivity going forward. Watch out for divergences in the future. But for now, this looks like 2-hour swing trade to the upside is what it looks like. We might be on track to do everything we said, just not make that divergence first, right? Just carve out that higher low. That is another way to make it a little bit strong base. If you had the deadness and momentum, actually, it would be I think, stronger base, in my opinion. Yeah, and the election's going to be, with the signals we're seeing now, the election's going to be kind of like an earnings, right? Kind of like a piece of big data, kind of like that, because it's another rock in the stream, right? You want to trade like water, you want to end up in the meadow. Okay, well, now you got not only earnings, but you also have the election, which these signals are not looking good on the macro scale as we go into the election. So if we're going to get some kind of bounce here to trap people, as a lot of people have puts right now, then that would make sense. Still a lot of puts, 1.3. What you want to happen is now, as we do maybe like this, then that switches to everyone as calls, and then we see that kind of just rug pull down. Most likely, if we do hit this zone, I might just like take a small starter position for volatility. I believe those are put options. We can go double check, but I'm pretty sure it's just measuring the puts and calls. Yeah, it follows put options. TLT, maybe that goes through a little pullback now. Maybe a little 5-minute pullback coming for TLT. We'll see. I think TLT's the main day is going to be Thursday. What the Fed decides to do on Thursday is going to be important. On a 5-minute over here, sorry. There we go. There we go, and okay. We'll just watching this. Your thoughts on XOM? No, I'll do XOM. I think plenty of people pay attention to this. That I don't mind, and you asked very, very kindly, so I appreciate that. The 30-minute did curl up. You weren't near positive territory. You didn't have any reversal signals, and it turns up. Sometimes that happens, right? Or sorry, that's a 15-minute. 30-minute, yeah, you still didn't really have the divergence points. You spike down, you spike back up. That can happen sometimes, right? V-shaped stuff. So no divergences here for the most part. You can see that the 2-hour didn't really have divergence either, but that 2-hour is starting to confirm to the upside. Top Synopsis, thank you so much for the $19.99. Holy crap, guys. Say thank you so much to Top Synopsis for donating back to the channel. Really appreciate that. That is fantastic. Now, for this, though, what we want to see is what was the structure on the daily scale. This is very elongated, but is it really crashy? Like, if I really look at this, doesn't it look still slightly controlled? So if that's controlled and I have a daily that's close enough to the center line, if this daily just crosses up, positivity can happen. Now, ExxonMobil, you know, we want to pay attention to mostly the swing trade here. Okay, that's going to be the main thing because we don't have the best reversal signals. All right. You've changed my trading game. Hey, that's awesome, Top Synopsis. I'm very glad that I'm helpful. I just hope to continue to be helpful, okay? That's the main goal here, right? Just continue to be helpful, continue to be helpful. That's the main thing for me, right? I want to make sure that it continues to be beneficial for you, but I'm glad that you are seeing some of your trading improve. Now, so that is a simple one just because you have a MACD by the center line. If you're going to get confirmed momentum to the upside, what's going to happen? Well, this RSI is going to get above the center line. You're going to get above all the moving averages, and then you're going to see that MACD cross. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Cool. Now we can go look at something else. All right. Because for this, oh, one thing we might need to look at. Hold on. Okay, you did confirm weekly divergence. Okay. So if we do make a move higher here, I want you to look at those shorter time frames. And if you took the course, which I kind of think you did, if you did that, well, look at this. You do have major divergences confirming here. So be aware of any weakness in this little move if we're not going up towards that high. And then from that high, be aware of daily divergences, right? If we go above it, because you do have the weekly cross down. If that weekly remains crossed down, it is still suggesting that momentum on the weekly scale is a little bit sick. Still in the process of finishing? Good, good, awesome. And yeah, feel free, go back, watch, you know, once you get it, you own it. So go back, watch multiple things, watch something that confuses you or something. You can always ask questions here on the live show and we'll try to answer it if we can in real time, because I think it helps out everyone else as well. So that's awesome. LLY, let's go look at that too. Thank you for the donation. That's why we'll look at both. How about that? For this, you notice that the weekly scale, one, divergence actually popped up. Notice when that divergence, you know, there's a bunch of things you could consider divergence all across this, right? But notice when we actually see this start to spike down, it's when that gets significant, So it is significant, it is confirmed. In order for this to unconfirm, what do you got to do? Well, you got to hold up here. You got to hold up right here. And you got to probably curl up that on the weekly scale. So there's a lot of time that can go into that. Now on the daily, what are we noticing you're doing here? Well, you're actually reacting down. I think reacting a little bit lower would be good, but you could be forming some kind of cup in here. Look for if we consolidate to break down one more time. Okay, that's what I'd be looking for there. As we look into a 30-minute, the reason I want to look at a 30-minute is to see if we have any kind of basing out signals. I would say you kind of do, but they're wonky as hell. Right? They're really, really wonky there. Okay? So a little bit rough on that one. All right, a little bit rough on that one. It does not want to set up the best trade for you. I think the better thing would be if this would dip down one more time, solidify, yeah, we're making that base, and then you could maybe see this go up towards that 892.51 again, right? Kind of the breakdown area. That's what I'd be looking for there. But as far as it goes, guess the daily can curl up. I don't think you have, I really don't think you have 2 hours. So you don't have 2 hour signals. So any bounce you get here, if you get a good bounce here and that 30-minute divergence meant anything, just watch out. That could be a lower high. That's what that really leaning towards there, I think. GME trying to go positive. Then going negative again. So we'll still look at this later on in the day. 15-minute, did that do anything while we were checking on those stocks? Or top synopsis? All right, we're still bottling up. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. My feeling is growing stronger, SPY not able to curl on the 30-minute. Exactly, that's why I'm really looking at this, waiting to see if that positivity is there, because even the Dow right now is seeing that slowdown. Okay, it started to pick up a little more there. Might make a little 5-minute in there, but if we're gonna curl up, I'd like to see every indice create the higher low. IWM already did something great. That's fantastic. You can see it more clearly on the 15-minute. I just don't trust 15 minutes too much. SPY, it still can curl down on the 30-minute. So if it curls back down on the 15-minute, it means this is definitely not playing out. But we'll see, because I don't think that this wick was an accident. I really don't. I think that 570 had a shit ton of puts in there. And so when we went below that, they said, oh God, buy it back, right? We don't want to push it down that low. These people are going to make way too much money if this goes down. So now you have the opportunity for the higher low. See if that can really see some positivity. We need to see positivity there. But you also could just go, okay, 2 hour curls up, good, right? 2 hour curls up, goes like this, crosses back down, maybe towards Thursday. IWM, if it confirms up on a 2 hour, would suggest higher, right? Still have to confirm down there on your MACD, but you do have the divergences here. You have it on the MACD and RSI at the same time. That is suggesting that positivity could come. Like, it's pretty probable if that confirms that it's going to experience some positivity. All right, guys, I gotta go. Wifey had to take baby girl to the doctor just for a regular appointment, nothing bad or anything like that, but she does not like doing it, so I'm gonna go give mama a break. I'm gonna go get some lunch with the girls, and then I will hop back on, and we'll look at these signals. If anything pops up to me, I'll post it to Patreon, so make sure you're joining the Patreon if you're interested in seeing some things I'm looking at. We don't post it every day, what I'm looking at, but if it seems important, I like to put it on there if it seems like a pretty good signal. And I'm going to try my best. We used to do this on Patreon where we go through these lulls because of my daughter, but we go through these, we used to do these update videos showing you the weekly ranges when they're setting up good things and going through them and like really looking through them with you on Patreon. And I think we're going to bring that back because we are... we did see a few people join over the weekend, and I think it would be good to bring that back. I think that's a very good thing that we used to do. So if you want a little update video with those weekly ranges on the chart so you can see what signals I'm paying attention to, and we try to make that at an opportune time, so make sure notifications are on for Patreon. You can come join us over there. It'll be fantastic. If you need to learn any of this stuff, though, the course is on sale for till November 31st, and then it's going away. We might have a Christmas special deal or something like that, but after November 31st, that's going away. But overall, really appreciate you guys being here. You guys are fantastic. You guys are awesome. You're asking good questions. Thank you so much, Top Synopsis, for the $19.99. Really do appreciate the donation back to the channel. You know it means a lot to me when you're willing to donate your hard-earned money back to this channel, because it means, hey, we're being helpful, and that's the whole goal here. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Really do appreciate it. If things get a little wild, I might have to hop back on the live video. I have made some time towards 2:30 just in case things get a little sketchy out there. So thank you guys so much. Ones that are playing out, ooh, I do like this one. I still like this one. Okay, we have pullbacks and things like that, but you got 30-minute confirming, 2-hour confirming, and daily is there. If that can confirm, you have yourself a golden setup. You might have a pretty major bottom here. Just got to make sure to manage risk because we could experience some bad things, right? The weekly scales for the SPY and the Qs are saying bad things, so the fact that this is giving a reversal signal now, little bit sketchy, but as long as you can manage risk, you'll be just fine. Thank you, guys. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Peace. I'm going to leave you guys on a 15-minute, actually. And then we'll let you guys hang out in here with each other if you want to chat back and forth, talk about stocks, maybe give some input about stocks to each other. I think that's fun. All right, guys. Talk to you later.